Okay, we are back again with central tendency and dispersion. This time I'm going to show you the problem set, do the first problem, or just show you how to do the first problem, and then tell you how to do the other ones, okay? You can see that I have two central tendency and dispersion problem sets. One of them is in Microsoft Word, and the other one is saved as a PDF file. You know, you're all using all kinds of different platforms to open these things up. So the PDF should hold everything that's in there. Some of you, if you open up Microsoft Word, who knows what'll happen? But since I created it, I can open Microsoft Word, which I'm going to do right now, and click Enable Editing, and I'm going to increase it a little bit so we just have one page at a time. And it says SOC 201 Central Tendency and Dispersion Problem Set. And the instruction here is to compute the mean and standard deviation for the following problems. There are only 3 problems here. And I want to give you a hint. That's the hint from my cat, Jessie. If you compute the standard deviation, you will automatically compute the mean. So just go ahead and do the standard deviation, and you'll find the mean anyway. Okay, so this original column of numbers with the column header X is what you will see when you have a standard deviation problem. Remember what I said in the lesson. When you see a standard deviation problem, immediately just write out the formula. Remember? The small s stands for standard deviation. Remember the sigma, you add everything in front of it, and this is the values squared. I'm sorry, the squared values. So this is the sum of the squared values divided by n minus the mean squared. And after you write the formula, just break out the individual components, and then you can solve for them individually. Like here, right? The first thing I would do is solve for this, the sum of the squared values. So I'm going to take this column and square each value individually, and come up with 9,625. So I have that there. Then I'm going to easily get the n, which is the total number of values. All I have to do is just count how many numbers are in this original column. There are 10. So the n is 10. And then the mean squared, right? How am I going to get the mean? Well, you need to add this original column of numbers and divide by the n. Remember, the mean is the sum of the values divided by the number of values. And I'm going to show you a real quick, easy way to do this stuff. So let's copy. I'm just going to try and copy the first 2 columns. We'll see what happens when I throw them in Excel. And then I'm going to open up a new file, new blank workbook, and let's see what happens. Whoa, that's not what I want. That's certainly not what I want. So let's go back to the Word document and see if I can copy this stuff and bring it over to Excel. Oh, please, God, work. Poof! Okay, good. It only took the numbers. So I'm going to take, let's see, what am I going to do? I'm going to insert a cell just so I have all of these numbers in the same column. So remember, to get the mean, I need the total of this column, right? This is the x column. And this is the x squared column. So to get the sum, all I have to do is click down here below the last number, and then way over here, there's this thing called auto sum. And this will, all you have to do is click this button, and it'll put this formula here, and it'll highlight, which numbers it's going to sum. So you can see by the highlighted area, you have the correct amount of numbers. And then down here, it has the formula, right? Equals sum, and in parentheses, it says F4, which is where the 5 is, and then a colon, and F50, or F13, which is where the 50 is. And once you have that there, all you have to do is click enter. And then Excel is so cool that I can just right click and copy this formula and right click and paste it in there, and it'll automatically add up the other column of numbers. So I'm going to show you different things in Excel, but boy, if you can get used to using Excel, it will really save you tons of time. So I have the sum of the squared values. I need the mean, so what I'm going to do here is click in the cell below 275, and I'm going to write a formula. So I'm going to type an equal sign, and then I'm going to click in this cell. And it has F14, which is 275. That's where 275 is. And then I'm going to type the slash for divide, and then I'm going to type 10. Because remember, the n is 10. We have 10 numbers. As long as I have an equal sign there, all I have to do is hit enter, and that's the mean. And then if I want to get the mean squared, all I have to do is just multiply this by itself. So I can type an equal sign and then type 27.5 times, that's the little star that's above the 8 or over on the 10 key thing. 27.5, and there's the mean squared. So I have the mean squared, the sum of the squared values, and you can see when we go back to the formula that, as a matter of fact, that's what it is. Okay? So look what I'm doing. Now I have all three numbers for my formula. I'm just going to plug them in over here. And then look what I do when I jump down to the next step, right? I'm taking away the 0.25. I'm just cutting it off and leaving 756 there. It's easier for you to do that way, and it's not going to change the answer all that much. Also, when I divide 9625 by 10, I get 962.5, and I'm just going to cut off the 0.5. So what I have in this step is 962 minus 756, which is 206 in the next step. And remember, for standard deviation, you always have to take the square root at the end. So that comes out that the standard deviation is 14.35. And remember, over here in Excel, we got the mean, which was 27.5. I guess I should have made that a little bigger for you, huh? How's that? No? Too big? How's that? No? Okay. Sorry about that. But you can see the work that we did here now. So the answer to number one, what is the mean in standard deviation? The mean is 27.5. The standard deviation is 14.35. Bada bing, bada boom. Problem number 2 is exactly the same. All you have to do is find the mean and standard deviation for this column of numbers. Problem number 3 is the same, but you have to do something a little different. The answers that I want for problem 3 are, pretend that these are two classes, X and Y, and their test scores. So I want you to tell me which group performs better on the test, X or Y. And then also, I want you to tell me which group is more consistent on the test, X or Y. So you're going to have to calculate mean and standard deviation for both of these columns. And listen carefully, folks, because I'm going to tell you how to answer these questions. The group that performs better has the higher mean. Okay, so if you calculate both means, the one that's higher is the one that performs better. The group that is more consistent has the lower standard deviation. So you're going to calculate standard deviation for both of these columns, and the one that is lower is more consistent. Okay, don't forget to put that on your homework. A lot of times students turn this in and they give me the mean and standard deviation, but they don't answer these two questions. Okay, please answer the questions. Okay, so that's the assignment. Email me or come into the office hour and if you have any questions. All right, next week we're going to learn how to play poker. Woo! See you later.